Yes guys, welcome back to the channel and a little bit of extra content for you guys today because I am off to Las Vegas on Wednesday to watch the Mr Olympia this coming weekend. This is a bucket list thing for me. I've always wanted to go and this is the year. So I'm going and as you can tell I'm pretty damn excited. For so many reasons. I'm going to take my little camera with me. I'm going to try and vlog some stuff for you, so hopefully we'll get a bit of content out of that. But in today's video, I wanted to do my predictions because at the end of the day, who doesn't love an Olympia prediction video? And this Olympia is something special. This really is. Like, I've sat here now, obviously I've been thinking about it anyway for a while, but like I've just sat here probably for the last like 45 minutes looking at everything, and my days, it is hard. So first off, let's look at the full list, which I'm going to put there. So all these athletes, and all like ridiculous. I was back and forth, left, right and centre on these. So again, this prediction is simply a combination of who I think is going to make the top 10 and also probably a little bit of bias, I'm not going to lie. You know, there are certain guys in there that I want to do better, so they may have kind of gone up a little bit, but hey, that's prediction videos. It's about the personal opinion, and that's the wonderful thing about bodybuilding. Some people hate it because, you know, there's no subjective kind of criteria, so to speak, but I love it and it's exciting, and this year really is exciting. So that's the full list. Now I am going to go straight in with the kill. I'm going to take out all the guys who I don't think are going to be in the top 10, and again, you know, some of the names here that I have had to cut are crazy. I've not included Brandon Curry, previous Mr Olympia, in that top 10. Again, I could be way off, but this is just kind of my thoughts. So I'm going to go through one by one, 10 through to 1, and a little bit of my reasonings. I'll put a picture here. Now the pictures are just ones I got off social media, so they're not always necessarily kind of up to date, but they just give a few talking points. So for me, number 10 is my man Sass. One of the main reasons I'm actually really looking forward to going to the Olympia. The first pro series I did of the series was with Sass. We sat down, we spoke about how the goal for this year was to get to the Olympia, and I'm incredibly proud and happy to say that he is there. And I genuinely think, you know, he's a top 10 contender. When we look at Sass, we look at the muscle bellies on him, the roundness, and the condition he gets into. And I just think kind of structurally, he is superior than some of the guys who I've left out of the top 10. But potentially, you know, from an overall kind of frame standpoint, misses out a little bit on some of the guys who are further down the list. But no, very excited to see Sass, and at the minute, from this picture here is quite a recent one, I think he's looking phenomenal. So Sass is in at number 10. In at number 9, I'm going to go with Vitale. I'm not going to say a second name, but Good Vito. So again, both Sass and Good Vito, it is a Olympia debut. Good Vito's size is pretty impressive, but he also has like a pretty tight waist if you can control it, and quite a nice overall kind of X-frame. His legs are ridiculous, and it looks like he's in pretty damn good condition. So he's one who I think maybe could kind of go a bit further, like get some higher placings. But I'm putting him in at 9th just because I think overall, you know, he's in a really good spot. But again, you know, is he going to nail it? Are the nerves going to get to him? Are we going to see any kind of loss of condition? I feel like sometimes in his Instagram, the kind of pictures pre-show look a little bit better than when he's on stage. So we will see. But number 9 is Vitale. Number 8 is William Bonac, the Conqueror, an absolute veteran who has kind of turned back time and had a real kind of resurgence lately. I feel like William deserves a place in the top 10. He's beaten Sass this year. I think he's probably at his limit at 8, if I'm honest. But one thing about William that I'll say is I often overlook him at shows, and he always looks better next to other guys than I think. So I'm putting him in a solid 8th. He's someone who is very consistent, especially this past year or two, in terms of he turns up, the condition he brings to the stage, the fullness of the package is very consistent. So we know kind of what to expect, and I think he's a pretty safe bet for that top 10, and I'm putting him at number 8 there. And then number 7, Martin Fitzwater. Now I think Martin's got a ridiculous frame and insane potential. He really broke through last year, coming 4th, so I am putting him back a few places. And the reason for that is I don't think, well, he didn't have the best shows earlier in the year. I can't remember, was it Detroit or Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh, I think it was. So there's a little bit of kind of what if there. That show didn't really give us a whole lot of chance to see what improvements he made because he didn't look as good as the Olympia. But that doesn't mean that he hasn't made the improvements, he just wasn't able to show them at that show. Now this picture again, you can see just the structure. This is fairly recent, the frame on him. Is he going to be a little bit overwhelmed with some of those guys in the top 5, top 6? From a size perspective, I think so. But I certainly think the future is going to have him higher once more. But I think given how stacked this lineup is, I'm putting him at 7th. Prove me wrong. Then number 6, we have Andrew Jacked, who didn't have the best kind of FIBO look, but then again, this is from FIBO, and he still looks insane. Andrew is Samson-esque in terms of his dominance on stage, the height, the size, the shape, the kind of aesthetics there, but the thing that's always let him down is that condition. If he can nail it, I think it's a situation like Samson. When Samson started to nail his condition, he rocketed through the rankings. But we've just not seen that evidence, and I don't know if we're going to. So again, Andrew, I put in there at 6th, but personally, I do think he could beat some of the guys ahead of him. It's just going to be, if we see the best out of Andrew, then it's going to be an absolute game changer, and who knows how high he could go. But as it stands, I think I'm going for him at number 6. Then number 5, we have Beirut, which is amazing after so many years of qualifying for the Olympia but never getting to it. We have him there, and this is going to be interesting because we haven't seen Beirut stack up against any of the Americans. We've not seen him against Samson, we've not seen him against Hadi. We've seen him compete against William, and they've kind of had a battle there. He's beaten some fantastic bodybuilders, but he's not been at the very top or had the opportunity to compete with the guys at the very top. This is from a recent-ish update. It's just a screenshot, probably not the best picture, but again, what we can see here, I feel like he's brought his legs up, which were slightly lagging, so his overall structure and frame looks even more impressive. He has the size, he has the frame, he has the waistline, and he's pretty consistent with conditions. So yeah, I think he can do number 5, but again, like a lot of these guys in the top 10, I think he can do better. And I think there's every chance that if he's not on it, there's going to be guys I've mentioned already who could overtake him. Then we have number 4, Derek Lunsford. Now, I am not the biggest Derek fan, both as a person from what I've seen online or from a physique aspect, but I don't think I can do him any worse than 4th in this prediction. Being an ex-Mr Olympia, coming off the back of winning the Arnolds, I genuinely think the guys ahead of him and some of the guys behind him have better genetics, better potential. But again, Derek's been someone who people have overlooked to an extent going into that Arnold, and he absolutely proves everyone wrong. I'm not overly impressed with, the videos. I've only seen training videos, but he doesn't look insane in anything. But again, he's proved that he can surprise us, and he has the accolades in the bank to do very well. So I'm going to put 4th there, and in 3rd I'm going to put Hadi. This is not a recent picture. There aren't really any that I know kind of up to date recent pictures. But what can we expect from Hadi? I mean, I don't think Hadi's really improved or changed much in the past kind of three or so years, but he's been fantastic, regardless. Condition, dry, size, shape, my opinion, better than Derek. And yeah, I think 3rd is where I'm going to put Hadi. Simple as that. And then we come on to 2nd, which is Nick Walker. Now, did I expect to be saying that at the beginning of the year? Absolutely not. But, Pittsburgh, Nick beat Derek at prejudging. He looked crazy. He is a mass monster. I don't feel he has the structure that can ever be rewarded by being Mr Olympia. But I think he has enough size to dominate guys like Hadi, like Derek. And again, his condition is very, very impressive there. So again, you know, if he can really keep his midsection tight, he's going to be a real threat. He's going to push, you know, I think he's going to push Samson, but I just don't think there's going to be the aesthetic element there that can be rewarded. I don't think it's necessarily a good example to place Nick as a Mr Olympia for people to be looking at his physique and going, that's what we want to achieve from the sport. But yeah, I think he's going to take Derek out, and that is going to be one hell of a battle. Yeah, because there's been a bit of a back and forth there, mainly from Derek, and that's because I genuinely think Derek is scared, and so he should be. And then finally, we come on to, and still, Mr Olympia, Samson Dowda. Yes, I class Samson as a friend. Yes, I am massively biased, but I was massively biased last year. And I said he was going to win, and he did win. I saw him at that France show in person. I competed against him last year before he won the Olympia, and in person, it is just another level. Now, this photo is from 6 weeks out at his guest pose was in Romania. The thing that really struck me here is Samson was in condition, better condition for that stage than he's ever been. You look at that man's aesthetics. You look at his size. This is something that the kind of 2 to 4 are, you know, the height just isn't there. So I think Samson brings that overall stage dominance. You know, he's not a small guy. This was probably the first guest spot, or the first time I've seen Samson, where I thought he looked a touch flat. But being flat, you can reconcile that. Being fat and being out of condition, you can't. If you're not there, you're not there. And it looks like he's well on track to being really fucking lean. I've seen pictures of his face going around social media lately, and he has got that death face. So it's going to be very exciting, because I think if they can nail, him and Marlena can nail that carb up, nail that, you know, filling out process, bring that fullness along with this new condition, with his incredibly aesthetic physique, I genuinely don't think, you know, he can be touched. So yeah, there we go, top 10. That's what I'm saying. How have I done? What do you guys think? How much do you disagree with me? I'm open to conversation here. But just remember, it's only bodybuilding, it's only an opinion. Try not to get your knickers too much in a twist, and try not to get too angry, because my God, some reactions on videos are a little bit extreme. So yeah, I'm going to head out on Wednesday. I cannot wait. You know, I'm extremely excited for the UK contingent. Obviously, like I said, Sass, Tyler Smith, who I did a pro series with, Noel Darwin, who I've done a pro series with, Sophie Jenkins, who I've done a pro series with, Samson, who I've done a pro series with. I mean, I am a very fortunate man. We then obviously have Ryan Terry. Who else? We have Yemi in Classic as well. I'm sure I'm forgetting some others from the UK, and if I am, apologies. Kerry Sexton in bikini. So yeah, there's going to be a really cool UK, you know, contingent battling it out of the Olympia, and I'm wishing all of them the very, very best. And yeah, I'll see them out there. I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of my top 10. And bring on the Olympia.